Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm working in my side yard garden and I have a beautiful new shrub I'm adding. Look at the berries on that, you guys. So if you followed me for any length of time, you might know or remember that my side yard garden is full of things that have a lot of late season appeal, so like late summer into fall and winter. So this Symphoricarpos from First Edition Shrubs and Trees, this is also called Snowberry, has wonderful late season qualities. I mean, for one, look at the berries. So if you're a cut flower farmer or you love making flower arrangements, this would be a really nice choice. And it's native. So Symphoricarpos is hardy in zones 3 to 8. This particular variety is called Galaxy. So look at, I just love those berries. So it's called Galaxy and it gets to be about 2.5 to 3 feet tall. So it's perfect for a smaller garden. And I have been reserving a spot here. First, let me go back. I don't really, I have the bones of the garden established. I write all of that out. But then there's certain parts of my garden that I don't have figured out and I kind of save space. And I don't like to have open soil because that's just an invitation for weed seeds to germinate. So I have a lot of daylilies that I've divided over the years. And some of the earliest daylilies I planted were 2 varieties called Egyptian Spice and Cherry Cheeks. So that's what I had here. I have, and I don't recall who's who here, the flowers, I've cut them all back. But they were just kind of saving space and covering the ground, shading the soil so that it didn't have this crazy amount of weeds here. So I'm going to dig up the daylilies and put in my Galaxy Snowberry. And what's really cool about Snowberry is, I mentioned earlier, it is native and it's very versatile in many different types of growing conditions. And it also suckers. Just want to mention that as well because I really don't know how it's going to perform in my garden. I have another Symphoricarpos, a variety called, it's a coral berry called Proudberry. Beautiful pink berries on it. And the leaves are really nice. They're like this lobed shaped leaf. No real significant fall color, but they come on, they have these insignificant flowers on them, and then those flowers turn into these beautiful pink berries on the coral berry, and then the flowers on this one will turn into these white pearl-like berries. And I should also mention too that when I'm picking plants, I like things that are appealing to wildlife in the winter. So I like things that are going to invite the birds in the wintertime. This particular plant is not very palatable, so birds tend to use this as like a last resort because they're not very flavorful. So these will probably be in the garden for a long time, and I imagine it's going to be gorgeous with some snow on them. So I am going to dig up these daylilies here and I'm just going to get rid of them. I've got plenty of daylilies. I've got the same variety in other parts of the garden. And they're just kind of working as place markers for me until I find the things that jump out at me. And I wasn't planning to buy this. I happened to be at Home Depot the other day, and in their corral out in their parking lot, they had so many of these snowberries. And I thought, it's like a bell went off. That's perfect for this space. And I have other things I'll show you in a moment that are just coming on with these gorgeous berries on them. So I'm not doing anything special here. I amended the soil when I first started planting here, so I put in several inches of compost. It's really, really nice. So all I should have to do is dig up these daylilies, shake off the soil, and plop this one in. I'm just going to dig the hole about twice the diameter of the can that it's currently in, at the same planting depth, backfill it, water it in, and call it a day. it's in place, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. I have high hopes for it. And when I was thinking about this spot too, because it's a tight spot, it's a shared space, you know, it's a side yard garden, I always want my neighbors to enjoy what they're looking at too. So yes, the daylilies were pretty briefly. They worked as kind of a placeholder for me, but I think this is going to be even better because when it loses its leaves in the fall, like I said, there's no significant fall color on this, but you're left with these arching branches with these gorgeous plump white berries all over it. And I can't imagine a prettier sight in the late season garden than this. And what I've partnered it next to, so here, in this here, this is a sting arborvitae. So that's like a foot to a foot and a half wide and about 15 feet tall. So very narrow, but I always like to have some evergreens in the garden as well because it really helps to add interest and keep color in the garden in the fall and winter. So imagine when that gets bigger, imagine that with the snowberry, and then look at this. So this is the vantage point from my neighbor's side. So here's the Galaxy Snowberry and that sting arborvitae I was telling you about. And then right back here is another little blue stem. That is one called brushstroke, so I need to plant that yet. But again, late season color, that will turn a beautiful fire red for the fall. But what I want to tell you about and update you on are the 3 green wall spire crab apples I planted last fall. Look at those beauties. So they had beautiful spring flowers on them, just loaded with white flowers. Now look at the fruit on these guys. So look at this. It's just dripping with red crab apples. And sorry, I'm shooting into the sunlight here. It's loaded. So talk about fall interest, you know, and very bird friendly. So when I back up here, there's just always more to do. And I'm always thinking of what else can I put in here? So you'll see at the front of the frame here are more daylilies, and those are just placeholders. They look really pretty when they're flowering. So for right now, once I decide, you know, like what I want to put back here and maybe around the corner here, those will come out as well. But for right now, they do the trick. And then right in here is the diamond rouge. You can't see it right now. It doesn't stand out so well because it's being swallowed up by the cactus zinnias that I have there. But all of this will fill in and be absolutely gorgeous. All right, guys, so piece of cake, my Symphoricarpos or snowberry, Galaxy Snowberry is in place, and I think it's going to be beautiful over the next couple of years. And I'm just imagining how all this is going to fill in and be lovely from all sides. So no matter where you're looking at it from, I want it to be beautiful, and I think I'm on my way. So I add a little bit all the time. Don't be afraid of using, you know, common plants. Common plants are okay too. They're beautiful, like the daylilies, as placeholders. That's often what I will do. I'll use hostas as placeholders until I find things that I really fall in love with. And the Galaxy Snowberry is one of those plants. So I'm looking forward to how it fills in and what it does over the next couple years, and I'll definitely keep you updated. And for me in my garden, you know, when I first started gardening, I was all about perennials. I wanted everything. So in my garden reflected that. And now as I've gotten a little older and kind of refined what my interests are and what my favorite season is. I love the late season garden. So my side yard garden, I wanted it to reflect that and be something that was attractive for most of the year actually. And by adding plants that I've really put some consideration into what they do at different times of the year, because I don't want it to be like a one and done thing. I want it to be interesting for as long as possible in the garden. So when you're considering plants, think about what those plants do. And in case you're wondering about fruit set, these are self-pollinating, so you don't need multiples, different varieties to get this to set fruit. However, if you have another variety, for example, I have the proudberry, coralberry in the same bed, a little ways down, and having that nearby might improve the fruit set on both plants. So we'll see what happens, and I'll let you know as the seasons go on. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.